see you guys. Welcome to the Gravity Falls panel. I gotta tell you, we're seeing some pretty amazing costumes out there, so please, if you can, stick around after the panel because we'd love to get a couple of snapshots of that. So if you can hang around, that'd be great. My name is Khaki Jones. I'm the Vice President of Current Series at Disney Television Animation. And I know you guys are very eager to get this panel going. We are too, but we want to show you a couple of quick clips ahead of time of some upcoming shows. So Pickle and Peanut will hit our air this fall. So with that, let me introduce our moderator. Over the past 2 decades, I've had the good fortune of working with Rob Renzetti off and on. He has produced, directed, written and storyboarded on many shows, including Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, Foster's Home, Imaginary Friends, Robot Jones, and Family Guy. He also created his own show for Nickelodeon called My Life as a Teenage Robot. And as if that wasn't enough, he was the story editor for the first 2 seasons of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. He joined us 4 years ago on Gravity Falls as supervising producer. He is a wonderful human and amazing talent. He also happens to be my neighbor, so let's please give a warm welcome to Rob Renzetti.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Ready to go? All right. Give me one more stream for Gravity Falls before I introduce everybody. Okay, I think we can start. Let me first bring out someone you're very familiar with. His first name starts with A. No, it's not Alex. Yes, it is Alex. Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls.
Hey, everybody.
Next, we have someone you're also very familiar with. She is the star of stage and screen. She is on so many projects that I'm not going to mention them all, but she's also the voice of Mabel. Kristen Shaw. Now, our last panelist is someone you may not be quite as familiar with, but we are in love with him. He is started on the show as a storyboard artist for a season and quickly graduated to a director, an all-around useful man. He's been in most of the story sessions we have on Gravity Falls.
He's directed some of our best episodes. You may recall an episode called Northwest Mansion Mystery.
He's one of what we call the brain trust on Gravity Falls. Please give it up for director extraordinaire, Matt Brawley. Now I have one more person, I should say one more thing to introduce. If Alex will reach down below his... We have what we're calling the mystery box.
We have a mystery box, everybody. I'll bet you wonder what's in this box. Anyway, let's move on.
Yes, you'll have to wonder a little while longer. First, I have to ask some. Are we doing questions first, or are we going to show the clip first?
I think we're showing the clip first. So, we thought, since everybody, you guys waited in that long line, you probably had to battle with other fans. I see blood on somebody's dipper hat. We wanted to make it worth your while, so we brought a little something with us. We did this at the beginning of the season. We showed a little, we call this almost a mid-season trailer, just a couple of little clips and peeks from some upcoming episodes in the second half of the season. So
one or two clues in there. Maybe. All right, so I'm going to ask a few questions, and then we're going to open it up to you guys. But first, I get to be in control for just a short amount of time. So let's start with Alex. Alex, I'm going to steadfastly ignore all the stuff we just saw. And I'm going to ask you a question going back to the beginning of Gravity Falls.
I have no idea what he's going to ask me. We're discovering this together.
So, when I came on board, you definitely already had Dipper and Mabel kind of figured out in your head. It seemed like throughout the show, obviously, Alex is the arbiter of what's right, what's for the characters, what's wrong for the characters. But I'm curious, when you were starting to develop the show, whether you ever made what you would now consider a misstep with Dipper and Mabel in the early parts of the show. Wrote a scene that felt wrong.
This is a hard question. You mean in the actual show that aired, or like in the...
Well, either one. Either something that you did that never saw the light of day, or something that actually made it on air that you look back on now and go like, that's not really Dipper. That's
It's a very
not really
vulnerable
Mabel.
question.
Yeah, gosh, I feel so exposed to
Hey,
you guys.
tell us all your mistake, Alex. What mistake did you make?
You know that show you love? Well, here's something bad
It won't
about it.
start. I mean, so much, a television show, it has to be, even if you have everything planned out from the beginning, it has to be organic. You discover the characters as you write them, as you cast them, you hear the voices, you realize, oh my gosh, they should act like this, they should say that. I think possibly, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away, but I think probably one of the characters who changed the most from concept to screen was, Bill was a character that always existed in my mind as part of the show, but we didn't know what he was exactly. Like, I envisioned originally that early on in season 1, Dipper would have some dreams, and he'd be, dreaming about Wendy, or whatever Dipper dreams about. And in the middle of that, they're dreaming about Wendy, dreaming about people giving him compliments for looking cool and tall, or whatever he imagines. And then this little triangle would show up and just start screaming conspiracies at him. Just start, like, chemtrails, watch out for them! 9/11, I have a secret! Don't eat salami, it causes brain damage, bye! And would just disappear. And Dipper would wake up in a cold sweat, and there would always be one clue. He'd be like, look under your floorboards, bye! And then, like, Dipper would look under the floorboards, and there'd be nothing there. And it would just, the thought was just that he would annoy Dipper multiple times throughout the season, but never actually do anything. Like, I was just like, wouldn't it be great if Dipper was being literally tortured for no reason by this interdimensional being? But then as we kind of progressed in the show, we realized, well gosh, for a character who wants answers so badly, to interact with a character who has all the answers and won't give them is just such a great, frustrating area, and he should be more important to the series. And so we just we kept the character in the back of our heads until near the end of season 1. We said, okay, it's time. We'll have them literally confront him inside Stan's mind, make it much bigger and bolder, but it definitely, he's more of a big deal than I originally imagined.
Wow, very excellent answer. All right, Kristen, I'm going to ask you what mistakes you've made in your life. Please detail them all. No,
She's never made a mistake.
My question for you.
No regrets!
All right. Good to know. Then I'll ask you this instead. I'm just curious what you were like when you were Mabel's age. What were you like as a 12-year-old girl?
Or Dipper's age.
Either one. You choose.
Boy, I know that I had a lot of crushes, unrequited crushes. I definitely had braces. I was writing a lot of stories and poetry. I know this because I was at home last weekend and I cleaned out my childhood closet and it's just stacks of notebooks of poems about orphan girls. Every girl was an orphan. I don't know what
Did the
that
orphans
meant.
ever encounter a prince or get adopted by someone awesome?
No, they were usually trying to, like in this one story, her grandpa was dying. I guess she wasn't an orphan. Her grandpa was dying, and he was
Kind of
like,
been an orphan in the making.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And he was like, you can save me. And he gave her a map and a crystal to Fantasyland, and then she went there and
I'm in. This is
met-
incredible. This is a great story.
She
You've been keeping this episode idea from
I
us
just
this whole
found
time.
it. I just found it. It's 39 pages of pencil cursive.
So in other words, you were literally Mabel. I didn't know about the braces as well.
Oh yeah, I had braces and headgear. I had all of it.
Did you have to wear the headgear during the day or only at night?
Only at night.
Okay.
That actually ties into Rob's earlier question. One of my earliest drawings of Mabel had headgear.
No.
I considered headgear, and then I was like, I think I want to see her face, though. I feel like for a cartoon character, it's important that their face is not covered in metal unless it's
Good
like,
choice, good choice.
She's just Bane.
Yeah.
The original, exactly.
She's originally Bane.
Same voice too.
She used to be the daughter of Bane. Matt, let's move on to you, shall we?
Absolutely.
So, we're talking about adventures. If you could be in any adventure of Gravity Falls that have already aired, so we don't spoil anything, and you could be whatever role in that adventure, you have to be one of the characters, but you can choose which character and you can choose which episode you would be in. What would you be in? What episode would you like to go through with?
You
this
could
character?
quantum leap is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess, sure. Nobody
I mean, this
knows
is a
the
very
rest.
narcissistic answer, but I think I would pick Double Dipper. I mean, how fun would it be to hang out with clones of yourself? You would just
really
learn so
like
much.
yourself.
That is a narcissistic answer, but it's Matt Raleigh. Was that one of your first episodes you boarded on
It's,
season 1?
it's definitely one of the favorite episodes that I boarded. Yes, absolutely.
A lot of the Dipper like arguing action. You may recall a scene where the Dippers have locked Dipper Prime in a closet and he angrily eats handy snacks. He's like, fine, I'll eat these snacks, and he's kind of frowning but eating them anyway. That's all boarded out by Matt. Those are Matt Raleigh's beautiful drawings. Appreciate that. One of my favorite drawings that Matt has ever done was in the very first Gideon episode, A Hand That Rocks the Mabel. He boarded the scene where Dipper breaks the news to Gideon that Mabel's creeped out by him and does this like, she's kind of creeped out by you, man. And he does this,
fingers together,
He does this
like,
fingers together,
cool,
like,
man.
she's not into you.
Yeah.
Like,
cool, right?
just like has that perfect acting. So you would go in Double Dipper.
Yeah, Double
just so
Dipper
that
it
you
up.
could you could relate to yourself.
Definitely.
And then murder yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
It's not really narcissistic, it's self-loathing if you think about it.
I mean, it's a horror story,
It's
right?
a horrible answer is what Alex is trying to say. It's the worst answer you could give.
I think,
Well, I stand by it.
No, nice.
Kristen, if you could live through any of Mabel's adventures, is there one that jumps out at you?
Well, yeah, the cloning of the boy bands. Obviously, I would take the New Kids on the Block and I would make 100 Joey McIntyre.
Every generation has a. I actually, speaking of, I want to mention just for all your
Aged
information.
myself. Guys, New Kids on the Block was a band before One Direction and even
Yeah.
before
In
NSYNC.
between that was NSYNC.
Yeah.
I want to just mention at the moment my twin sister Ariel, who Mabel's based on, is here in the audience. Stand up for the people, wave. She's wearing an NSYNC t-shirt right now. So that's probably the episode Ariel would quantum leap into.
What about you, Hirsch? You know you want to answer this question.
I'd probably quantum leap into Dreamscapers and be Bill.
Whoa. I knew you picked Bill.
Because it's fun to mess with people. Rob, if you could do it, where would you leap?
I'd leap into Mabel's Guide to Fashion to be Stan so I could wear all that cool cat face and makeup.
Hey, we can make this dream come true right now.
If
I will
anyone's
make
catfish
this dream.
makeup, meet us afterwards.
No
Yeah.
quantum leap required.
That will not be hard to complete that fantasy at Comic-Con.
Do you have a question for the mystery box?
No, except for what is inside of you, mystery box? I don't hear.
I think I hear a heartbeat.
Wait, before we do that,
I don't know.
do you want to reveal it, or do you want to? Oh, I have one more question for you.
No. Oh, you one more?
One more question for you.
All right.
Please detail all the secrets revealed in Tale of Two Stands and any other secrets that will be about the Gravity Falls going forward for all time and into the future forever. Please.
Did you get your question from the audience?
Yes, I was paid $50 to ask that question by 50 people in the audience.
Alas, I cannot answer that question, Rob, which I think you of all people would know.
It's true, I didn't know that.
We are here mainly because we want to answer your guys' questions. However, as Rob's question illustrated, we can't. If you ask like a series canon question, like what happens in the future specifically, like we can't answer. Like if you do that, Mabel will just appear and just say la 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 and plug her ears. Like that's the answer you will get. If you want to hear that, feel free. But I would, I feel like making a little announcement, not a big announcement, But a little announcement for you guys. I have it written down exactly. I think I'm gonna tweet it at the same time that I announce it for you guys.
I have no idea what this is.
No, nobody.
I don't discuss my plans with these guys. It's all it's all
Very
secret
sad.
here. Wait 1 second. Stand by. Talk amongst yourselves, everybody.
How's everybody's Comic-Con so far? Thank you so much for waiting so long to see us. Appreciate that.
What was that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Something planned.
They want to suck your face?
Oh, you're their fae. It's the new term for like favorite.
Oh, it's
kind
adorable.
Yeah, like B-A-E. Fae.
Let's see. All right, I got this.
Oh, while we're waiting, I think we want anybody who's in costume, if you can, to linger behind when the panel's over. We're going to take some kind of...
We want to take some costume pictures.
Yeah, you guys look great.
So just miniature announcement. I'm going to say it when I tweet it. I'm just going to say it first, then I'm going to tweet it. So you guys all get it first. Everybody knows A Tale of Two Stands is airing this upcoming Monday on the 13th. But I'm going to announce the dates of the following 2 episodes and their titles right now for you. The next episode following that is called Dungeons, Dungeons, and More Dungeons. It's airing on 8/13, and the episode after that, The Stanturian Candidate, airs on 8/24. That's 2 next month and 1 this month. So I'm pressing tweet. You know first, everybody. Pretty soon. You don't have to wait another 4 months.
You have to wait a month between the first.
Shh, quiet. Don't say that. Don't let them know.
They're used to.
So I think it's time to go to
We're going to
questions.
go to Q&A from the audience.
Over the floors. One more thing I'd like to mention. One more thing I'd like to mention before we go is that you can ask questions to me, Rob, Matt Brawley, Kristen Shaw, or if you feel so inclined, for the first time ever, you can ask a question to Mabel herself.
Everyone ask
You
me a
can
question,
also ask a
please.
question, just stand if you feel like
Kneel
it.
down,
Stand.
please. Please stand, kneel down, in line. Thank you.
All right, I think we're ready. If you can just say hello, and give us your name, and tell us what your question is.
Okay. Oh man. Okay, I'm Colleen, and I'm like a huge fan of the show. It's kind of like
I don't believe you.
I think your name is Bill, actually.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's Bill. I had a question for the writers, so I guess Matt and Alex. Like, if Grunkle Stan and Mabel want to answer too, that's cool. But
They have no idea how the show is written. It's a mystery to them.
The show's written.
Nor should they.
No, it's just like there's like obviously so many different ideas kind of going on, and it's like amazing for me to see it. Like, I guess coming up with all these crazy ideas and putting them up in this like sequence that all makes sense, and you watch like episodes before and be like, oh yeah, that connects to this thing, which connects to this thing. Like, how do you even come up with that stuff? Is it like a big group, or do you come up with it like right away, or does it just take a really long time? I guess like the writing process.
Yes to all of those. It both is easy and fun, and also hard and impossible.
Let's say and get it immediately. It takes a long time.
Rob Robinzetti is also a part of the writer's room. He's sort of been occasionally... Mabel's reaching for water. Slowly.
Oh, it's thirsty.
Sorry, Mabel. She's going to do a whole ventriloquism routine for you guys. Rob has been part of us for day one, and Rob's written on many other shows. You've written on My Little Pony, Powerpuff Girls, My Life as a Teenage Robot, obviously. How does writing on Gravity Falls compare to those shows?
Oh, it's so much better. No, it's all the same. I mean, the one thing on Gravity Falls that we have, which we don't have on those other shows, is, as you know, a big story, continuity. So it's just... What's Mabel? Mabel, I'm trying to answer the question very seriously. The thing what you're asking is the big story. How do we come up with it? Do we have it all at once? No, we don't have it all at once. We usually we'll have 1 or 2 or 3 pieces. We'll maybe have a few pieces into the future, but those pieces might change. We also have the convenience of rewriting stuff before it airs, after it's come back from overseas. So we've just been kind of trying to figure stuff out as we go along. We have, a bunch of things. Just so you know, at one point, Gideon was supposed to become mayor of Gravity Falls. That was part of the big, the big
Stories change a lot.
Stories change.
There's a few tentpoles. When we started the show, we knew what was revealed at the end of the previous episode. We knew about Grunkle Stan's secret sibling. We knew who the author of the journals was. We knew approximately what the beginning, middle, and end of the story was. So I think it's really important when you craft a mystery, start with a few things that you can actually solve. Like, don't ask questions at the beginning that you don't know the answers to, because then you gotta like Shyamalan it at the end. Like, try to actually figure it out. But at the same time, like, we try to allow ourselves the organicness to, as we're going and learning, say, you know what, we can adjust our idea because we just discovered we love this character more than we thought, or we just discovered something new. So it's partially rigid, partially organic. So I hope that answers your question. No problem. Thank you, Toots. He talks like that, that's not me.
Hi. I was wondering, at the end of season 1, you see Blendon in the background walking behind when Gideon's arrested, and then in the Halloween episode you see that mysterious pair of feet hiding in the cloak in the candy store. Do we ever harken back to those moments to explain them?
Mabel, can you answer that question?
Mabel. Sorry.
Can't answer spoiler questions. I'm so sorry. But for a small fee, I can tell you later.
I guess Mabel did spill her water, so if I can get a towel. I'm just worried about electrocution, that's it.
We've practiced with these puppets for months. Harley Quinn's got a question.
I know that trust is such a central issue in the show, like on like a central theme, and I know that trust is probably going to be affected in the future. How is that, or what is the standpoint of the relationships between the characters as it is right now?
I think every character in the show has a different relationship to how trusting they are. So if you just look at the main cast, Grunkle Stan doesn't trust anybody. He's very guarded. Dipper doesn't trust anybody unless they earn it. And then you've got characters like Mabel and Seuss who just, their first impulse is to love whoever they meet. They see everyone. I mean, I think a lot of the characters see themselves in other people, and the level of trust that they have for others shows their own sneakiness. It's like, Dipper doesn't trust other characters because he knows that he has this very rich interior life, and he keeps a lot of secrets, so he assumes the same as everybody else. Obviously, the last episode, the theme of trust was the entire point of the story. It's between Dipper and Mabel, Dipper who trusts his head, Mabel who trusts her heart, who is right about how to feel about Grunkle Stan. And the hope was that our audience would be equally divided about how to feel about that. Now that the answer has come out, it's been revealed that Grunkle Stan was indeed lying to them all this time about things fundamental to who he is. The next episode is all about, is he worthy of the trust that Mabel just gave him? Yes, keeping that portal open did not destroy the world, but what did it create, and is Stan a good guy or a bad guy? These questions are still unanswered, and the next episode is sort of about answering those questions, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Hi. So I have a question because I think most people know that it was Gravity Falls was based off the perfect summer that you would have liked to enjoy as a child. But I was just wondering, if you had the chance, would you endure like all the horrifying parts of Gravity Falls just to enjoy the mystery as a child?
Mabel, has the summer been more horrifying or more delightful? On balance.
I had a good time.
So mailing good.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, gosh, I don't think I could go through what Dipper's gone through. I mean, if you remember, he once jumped off of a cliff 100 feet, bashed face first into glass to punch a child in the face. Like once I jumped into the short end of a pool and broke my toe, like, I'm not, like Dipper is like if I had way more courage, I think. I don't know, Matt, if you had the option to experience all the magic and fun of Gravity Falls, but you also had to go through all the pain, would you do it?
Well, I think the really important question to answer is, am I animated or not? Because if I'm animated, I say heck yes, but if not, I think I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, that's actually a great qualifier. Let's say you are animated.
Then heck yes.
All right, who's next?
Hi. So,
Howdy.
Grunkle Stan, were you ever gonna tell the twins about your brother before the whole portal thing happened?
Yeah, you know. I'll continue.
Alex, how many voices do you actually do? And, well, I forgot the third one.
Grunkle Stan does all the voices. He's actually puppeteering me right now. So. He's the voice of Bill. He's the voice of McGucket, Bill, the gnomes. For Grunkle Stan, I think Grunkle Stan would probably say, yeah, you know, I was planning on telling them eventually. Maybe when they were both 50 and I was obviously 180 or whatever, I would tell them then, but it all happened way too soon.
Will we ever see their parents?
Hey Mabel, will we ever see Dipper and Mabel's parents? I'm sorry, that's all we can say.
We must move on now.
I have a question. Can I do the question in the Bane voice?
Please do the question in the Bane voice.
Okay.
Well, hello there, folks. You may not notice, but I'm a fan of the singers button. That's my little.
Your Bane voice is too good, I can't understand it.
Well, is Bill the cause of all the weirdness in Gravity Falls?
Is Bill the cause of all the weirdness?
Is Bill the cause of all the weirdness?
That's an
He
easy
was
one to
born
answer.
in weirdness and molded by it. I will say that. I can say Bill is not the cause of the weirdness. Gravity Falls would be weird with or without Bill, but I will say that Gravity Falls' weirdness is why Gravity Falls is so interesting to Bill, and that's all I can say.
Thank you, Bane.
Thank you, Bane.
No more Bane. Go away, Bane.
We love you, Bane.
Okay,
See you soon, Bane.
this is for Alex. I've heard that you are a champion at bird calls, so I was wondering if you could demonstrate.
I would also like to hear this.
Those days are past me. You know, maybe if like Rob Renzetti was kidnapped and I got called
Can we
up.
arrange a quick kidnapping?
He was kidnapped by people with very sensitive hearing, and they said, like, the only way to prevent the kidnapping is you have to do your bird call. And I'm like, oh, it's one last job dragging me back. I thought I was done, but
It's a horrible action move, by the way. The worst
Bird call
I've ever heard. Bird call of
2017.
Bird call of duty.
The short answer to this, and I can't, it's a long answer, but like, the bird calling contest that I was a part of when I was 15 was kind of a scam. Like, it was kind of like, it was super fun, but like, you didn't win based on your bird call, you won based on like telling jokes before your bird call. So like, I got up and I was like, what's the deal with birds? Quack, quack, and then I made some noises. So I actually know nothing about bird calling. Like, the call I did when I was 15, it's a total scam. Like, I didn't tell anybody, but like, if any ornithologist heard it, they would say it's no good. So just like, imagine like a baby with cholera, like on fire, like that sound. That's the bird call. So anyway, it lives in your mind now.
Thank you.
Hello. I have a nitpicky fan question because this
Uh-oh.
is the
Those are
kind
the
of
best
show that
kind.
encourages that.
Oh, yes.
Matt probably might have the answer to this one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Sock opera.
Love
We
it.
have an open-ended deal. Dipper keeps his end of it, Bill does not. And this is a series that has very much established that a deal has to go both ways.
Uh-huh.
Do we still have Bill owing Dipper a favor? Is that something that just got overlooked? What's the deal with that?
Well, Mabel, I think you know what to do.
I'll say this about Bill. Bill likes to play tricks, Bill likes to hide clues, but Bill also likes to screw people over. I will say that he doesn't necessarily have the code of honor you might hope. That's all I can say about that.
Thank you for being nitpicky, though. We appreciate it.
We are nitpicky, too.
I got another nitpicky fan question.
Oh boy.
One of the things I love about the show is all the little things that you hide in the background, especially in the Mystery Shack itself. And what I want to ask is there any significance in the show with the Masonic symbolism of Uncle Stan's fez and the Shriner banner seen in the back wall of the Mystery Shack?
I think we're at the point where I'm allowed to answer that question. Yeah, I mean, the only significance is that, like, for some reason, like, when I was in high school, I just became obsessed with Shriners. I guess because I didn't have a girlfriend, like, I don't know. I was just like...
That's the reason.
I went to a cemetery and I saw these Masonic symbols, and I was kind of like Nicolas Caging my way around, like, what does it all mean? when I pitched a show to Disney, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I just like loaded this kids show up with like weird Masonic looking symbols? You know, like some guy out there who really that like they're infiltrating the media, like just make him insane. And so like, so I mean, I thought like, you know, I'll sort of portray Grunkle Stan as a Shriner-esque kind of guy. In terms of the actual tapestries and fez and those other artifacts owned by Stan in the shack, I'll say those did not originally come from Stan. Those are things that Stan acquired over the course of his life from another character, but I can't say more than that.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Okay, my question is for both, well, I guess it's for all.
Then we'll all answer at the same time.
By the way, I love your Mabel sweater. Does everyone see her Mabel sweater? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Applause for you for that
So Bill Cipher is definitely going to be returning to Gravity Falls. What is going to happen when he returns?
He's just a crop circle. That's all he does.
That's it. He's just a crop circle. I won't make you yell anymore, Mabel.
Sorry, we can't answer that.
We can't really say what's going to happen. I mean, the only thing I
will
can
be up
possibly
to more
say is
mischief.
Bill gets away with whatever he can. Bill is that guest at your party who will like eat the chips and then pour the dip on his head and then punch a hole through the wall. Like he will dress the dog up in a little suit and make it talk. Like he just does whatever pops into his head.
Horrible guest at your party.
He's an awful guest. So the next time you see Bill, he invites himself.
He is entertaining.
The next time you see Bill, he will cause chaos because that's what he does. But I can't say more than that.
Thank you.
I made her sweater, by the way.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Well done.
One of the things that I love about the show is being able to watch it with, it's a family show. And this is a question for the three of you, in the sense that, is there a process where you know you're writing for the entire family, adults and children, or was that just a happy accident and it just keeps being a happy accident?
Well, I'm curious. I mean, we mainly write this show for ourselves. We just say, what is funny to us, let's do it. But we never get to see the show new. So we don't know how it hits people until they tell us. I'm curious, Kristen, when you just first read scripts of the show, saw the audition sides, did you get, did you think oh, there's some far out jokes here, this is weird? Did you think oh, this is totally fine for kids? How did it feel just coming out of the blue like that?
I just thought they were just well-written stories, and I just loved the characters right away. It is one of those things where I didn't put an age range on it. I just wanted to read the next script, and I couldn't wait to.
And that's what we want. We feel like if you tell a good story, it doesn't really matter kind of the texture you drape on it in terms of age-wise, as long as the story points are compelling, people will enjoy it. That's what, Kristen's answer is my dream answer. That's what I would have hoped she would have said. Thank you. Was there ever a joke you read where you're we're doing too much? Did you ever see a bit where you thought we were breaking the rules or gonna give kids nightmares or anything?
Sure. Definitely. I do think the show pushes the edge a little bit, and I think that's good, and I think obviously you guys can take it. But it is really scary.
Our theory is that kids are way smarter than anybody gives them credit for.
Yes.
I think
you should never write down to kids, and I think any show that does that is making a mistake.
There's this misunderstanding in media that, kids will watch anything, and it's they're mistaking the appetite for, kids will watch anything just like a hungry person will eat anything, but they will, sing the praises of and love something that you make good, just because people love to consume doesn't mean they wouldn't prefer something amazing, and so we try to do the best thing we can. I mean, Matt, do you ever think, oh no, to think of the children, or do you just think, I'm trying to make something I like?
No, absolutely not. And I want to add that thematically the show is about family. So it's great that you can watch it with your family. This is the perfect show for this message and this audience. That's how I feel about it.
And if you don't have a family, that's okay too.
Yeah, you can still watch it.
We are your cartoon family. Consider yourself adopted, kids.
Hi, my name's Deja, and my question is, are there any
monsters like in other places of the Gravity Falls universe, or is it, and like Gravity Falls is just a hub for it, or is it just Gravity Falls?
Good question.
I can vaguely answer that question.
A vague answer is what you were looking for, right?
I think that if you had a globe with little red push pins and you put a push pin down every place where something weird and impossible happened in the universe of Gravity Falls, you'd see a globe with a couple spattered red dots around the world and a just buttload of them as you get closer to Gravity Falls. That's all I can say about that.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering how the events in Not What He Seems affect Seuss, because he's always thought of Stan as like a father figure because his father betrayed him, and now Stan has betrayed him. So, yeah.
There it is. Well, now I feel terrible.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
Let me take the mic for a second. I would say that I didn't betray anyone, but you can decide when you see the episode whether or not I betrayed anybody. I'll take the mic away from Stan for a second. I think Seuss is as I said before, a very trusting person. I think with Seuss's father, he never got anything from the guy. He never got an inch. He didn't get a birthday. He didn't get an afternoon. He didn't get a game of catch. And so I think that betrayal stayed with him. But Stan, even though he's rough around the edges, Stan has basically taken Seuss in since he was 12 years old, given him a job, and sort of given him an image of like what an adult is and how to act in the world. And even though Stan is the worst possible role model, he genuinely loves Seuss and wants to spend time with him. Stan's the kind of guy I'll say just like, yikes, Seuss, you're breathing down my neck, get out of here. And then realize he's got to go to the store to, pick up some Elmer's glue and say, Seuss, get back here, I need someone, I can't be in the car, just driving on my own. Like, he loves Seuss. And I think Seuss, when Seuss hears about what's been going on with Stan, will not forget the good in Stan, but I can't say more than that.
Thank you.
Hi, so one of the first things that really grabbed my attention when I started watching the show were the ciphers at the end and thrown out throughout the whole series. How do you decide which ciphers to use, and like if any are too complicated or you find some too simple, or just what's the process behind?
I mean, nothing's been too complicated for anybody to figure out.
Yeah, there's literally nothing we could come up with that you guys couldn't crack in a second. Like we've sort of, I can answer that question quickly, which is those ciphers are written by me usually an hour and a half before we ship the episode. It's something where it's mainly they're meant to be hidden Easter eggs. Every now and then they contain small clues or foreshadowing. But it's not something we like put our heads together as writers. It's literally just like right before it's over, like, here's a crazy clue, here's a hint. So I wish I could say that like there's like a brilliant process behind it, but no, it's whatever pops out of my head right before the show's due.
I made it to the microphone. Awesome. Okay, so I wasn't gonna ask this, but I've been like wondering this ever since I like started watching the show. In the episode Society of the Blind Eye, they have the memories, like McGucket's memories and Robbie's memories, and they weren't from Robbie's or McGucket's point of view. What perspective were those from? Because I was so confused.
That's a very good question. Rob, would you like to answer that question?
Sure. Since you don't know how to answer it, I will. No, they're the machine. It's quite obvious if you think about it. There's someone recording them. They are recounting the memory that disturbs them. The machine records them, giving that memory, and as it's recording them giving that memory, the memory is taken out of their head. So basically, it just looks at you, it says, what do you want to forget? You tell them what you want to forget, it records it, and it gets rid of it for you at the same time.
So the canister is a spool of memory / videotape.
Yes, of course.
They can record both.
Of course. As we're all very familiar with in history.
That is now the canon answer. Thank you so much for your question.
Oh, you ever gonna release the unreleased first episode of Gravity Falls?
No, never.
You mean the pilot?
Wouldn't it be interesting if that and a tape of my bird call was in this crate right now? It's just like,
it opens up.
Bigfoot and Jimmy Hoffa, and probably not. I think possibly for the fact that just for legal reasons, oftentimes pilots that are made internally have a lot of music that is temp and it's unlicensed and photographs that are unlicensed. Like, it's not made for national broadcast, and like you could get sued if you put it out for sale. So it'll probably never be out there. Maybe one day we'll just put it on YouTube or something as sort of a historical curiosity, but there's no plans in official capacity to do that.
This is gonna make the pain worse, but it's like one of the best pilots I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, but you
really good.
you guys have seen it. You've seen the first episode. That is the official version of that story.
It's like a short version of Tourist Trap with the gnomes. It has a similar story. I will say one difference in that original pilot is that Justin Roiland, who is Rick and Morty and Blended, in the original Gravity Falls pilot, Justin Roiland plays the king of the gnomes. This was before he was Lemon Grab, and he's basically doing the Lemon Grab voice. He's just like, I'm the king of the gnomes! Something like that, you know. I think he screams the word impossible really loudly at some point. Anyway, thank you. All right, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Keegan. I'm just wondering, since you went from Disney Channel to Disney XD, that you're able to get more freedom, or is there any real big difference from switching between channels?
The surprising answer to that question is, a lot of people see like, whoa, season 2, what? Bleeding taxidermy heads in that bunker thing, what the heck? Is this like an extra thing you're allowed to get away with? And it actually, we had no idea we were gonna be on Disney XD when we wrote season 2. Programming is sort of its own department, and the way that when they play the episodes, where they play the episodes, it's sort of a mystery to us. We write all this stuff about a year before you see it. So it was our plan to make the series have higher stakes in the second season, just because now that you love these characters, putting them in greater danger will result in a more dramatic story. So like, we wanted to push what was scary and surprising and shocking about the series, and that was our mandate, but it actually had nothing to do with the change of networks. Honestly, it's a bummer. If I had known earlier that they were gonna move us to another channel, I might have tried to use that to get away with even crazier stuff. But the season was basically written before we had any idea where we'd air, so it's sort of a coincidence that it's even more terrifying than the last time. Yeah, what he said.
All right, thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Looking around at all the fans and seeing their amazing outfits and creations, I was wondering if you had a personal favorite fan creation, and also this is like the most fun kennel I've ever been to. Just let me know.
This guy's a champion!
Whoa!
That's the best question I've ever gotten!
Matt, you want to answer that?
All the fan art, like all the fan stuff, it would be impossible to rank because it's all incredible. I mean, you have people making amazing costumes. You have like people making a comic strip every day. You have that guy who turns the show into an anime and puts it on YouTube. That stuff's incredible. All that stuff is amazing. Like, every one of you is doing amazing work, and we love it all. Like, there's no way to rank it. It's all great.
Sorry.
Matt also
You're all
has a
number
predilection
one.
towards memes. He loves the memes. Kristen, have you had a favorite fan thing?
I love all the fans. I love all the fan art.
That's the official answer.
I think...
someone made me a Mabel doll out of, I don't even know what,
Hair.
almost like cocked up hairball, but it's really delicate, and I love it to death. I got a picture of it, I put it up.
Did a fan give this to you in person, or was it mailed to you?
Yeah, in person, and the material, it was like fragile hair yarn.
It might have been actual child hair.
Even better.
Favorite fan thing. There's so much stuff. I mean, I still remember when it's really weird making a TV show because it's just you and your buddies in a room and making each other laugh and having inside jokes, and then you put it up on the internet and out on television. You have no idea if people are going to care. I feel like the moment I realized, oh my God, people really care, was it's like really early in season 1. One of our fans made a Gravity Falls rap with incredibly specific lyrics to the series that knocked me and all the writers on our butts. We just couldn't believe anybody had paid that much attention, and since then just things have gotten weirder and crazier. I'm trying to think of the latest, craziest thing. This is maybe not my favorite, but it's like the most intensely crazy one I've ever gotten. I mean, it was just my birthday, and I got a binder from Russia, and it was apparently there's a fan group, like a Alex Hirsch fan club in Russia. was like 30 pages, and every page had a different drawing of me, and like just picture like me as like a chibi anime
So
character.
he likes pictures of himself.
Yeah, very narcissistic. No, it was amazing. Like, oh my gosh, people are watching in Russia and they're drawing me, and they're drawing me all like tumblered out with like wide shoulders and like a, in a suit.
Looking with the eyes of love.
That's probably one of the strangest things I've ever gotten, but I was very appreciative. Rob, do you have a favorite fan thing?
No, because we need to get another question.
This is Rob's favorite fan.
Rob's all business Renzetti. Fun police.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I have a younger sibling. I love watching Mabel and Dipper progress and develop as siblings, and I love their relationship. And I'm wondering have they developed differently than you originally thought, and if so, how?
See, that was my question at the beginning of the panel.
I tried to dodge it last time, and now I have to really answer it.
Come on.
I think the thing that we discovered about Dipper as we wrote it is I originally imagined Dipper as being like me when I was 12, and I was very inside my own head, and as we quickly learned for stories, that doesn't turn into a story. Like a character, a great character has to make choices and often mistakes in order for drama and entertainment and for them to learn lessons. One of the hardest stories we ever broke actually was the episode Matt talked about earlier, Double Dipper, where we knew we wanted to have a story where there was like a dance at the Mystery Shack. We loved the idea of it, putting these kids through the awkwardness of a school dance type scenario, because that to me is like the pit of my stomach. Worst times when I was in middle school was having to go to a school dance. Like the stakes, the tension was the highest. So we came up with this contrived reason that Grunkle Stan is throwing a dance in the shack just so we could get that kind of a story. And for a month we were stymied on how to break the story because it was like, okay, when I was 12 I hated school dances, so the whole plot will be just Dipper hates the dance, just doesn't want it to happen. He's trying to prevent the dance from happening because he doesn't like all the loud noises and he's not comfortable dancing, and it sucked. Dipper was boring, and even though that was true, like if it was me as a kid I would just avoid the dance. The reason though is that I secretly wanted to dance and I couldn't, and I wanted to tell the girl how I felt, and so we thought, okay, I have to make this kid make the mistakes that I was too scared to make and receive the punishment, or victory, depending on the situation. So Dipper is both more foolhardy and braver, more neurotic and more open than I was as a kid. You sort of had to externalize it. I think with Mabel, a lot of it just came from the moment we cast Kristen. Like, the writers were just like, what would Kristen say? Like, once we have Kristen's voice, like, as you heard, like, from Kristen's childhood, like, this is a lot of Mabel right here. So, like, a lot of it was just like, what is that energy, like that funny, optimistic, weird energy that we can get from this character. I think something that you'll discover from Mabel as the season progresses, and I can't say too much about it, is that even though Mabel acts happy and sunshiny all the time, thank you, Mabel. She's listening. Even though she's learning her own future right now. Spoiler alert, Mabel. Even though Mabel acts bubbly and cute and happy and sunshiny all the time, Mabel she loves her friends, she loves her family, and it's not just a casual love, it's a very important love to her, and I think Mabel's not prepared for growing up in a lot of ways. She sees herself as worldly, she sees herself as like, oh yeah, I could go anywhere and do anything, but I think the future is a bit more daunting to her than she admits, and I think that's something
That sounds like me.
Or I think that's something that will come up.
We have time for one more question.
Hi, oh my god, my heart is pounding right now. Alex, you're a true inspiration to me. Really, you are. I'm an aspiring screenwriter, and I would not be going to Chapman University right now as a screenwriter if it wasn't for you. And I really appreciate that. And my question to you is, just what do you do when you're stuck? When you're writing and you don't know what to do, whether dialogue-wise or plot-wise, or just, what do you do?
That's an amazing question. Writing is the hardest thing in the world, and I hate it, and I love it, and I honestly have three little tricks when I get stuck. The first one is, real quick. First trick, they're telling me we don't have a lot of time, so I'll tell you real fast. Trick number one is look to real life. Think of the most absurd characters that you know, either personally or politicians, people on TV, anyone that you've witnessed, the way they act, just take from life. That's trick number one. Trick number two is, like, I'll just listen to music. If I want to do a scary episode, I will listen to a soundtrack to a scary episode, close my eyes, suddenly a scene starts playing in my head. Trick number 3, talk to other people, talk to my friends, talk the story out, pace back and forth, and they will start to have ideas that you could never think of. Those 3 will probably get you something better than what you started with. We have only time to talk about one more thing before we go. I think it's time to reveal what's in the mystery box.
Yes, we have to reveal what's in the box. And that last question, in a way, was a perfect segue to what's in the mystery box.
What is your question, Rob?
No, that last question
that is
about writing.
Segue. All right, we have something here that it's not a thing that will happen right away. It's a thing that's coming. In 2016.
2016.
For sale in stores. How many pages, Rob?
256 pages.
256 pages.
Full of monsters.
Full
and
color.
secrets.
We will be selling the canonical journal number 3 from the series, the entire story, how the author got to Gravity Falls, how we discovered all these characters. Every page you've ever seen in the show, the part where it was scribbles, is now writing. And you will learn so many secrets that will never even be in the show or never even be talked about, only if you have this book. It is coming in 2016 from Disney Publishing. It's the craziest book we've ever done. I can't open it, it's a secret, what's inside? You'll have to wait. So that is coming. There will be, also, I will be signing the Dipper and Mabel versus Dipper and Mabel's Guide books a little bit later. I tweeted, does anyone know where that signing is happening?
Shouldn't you know where?
It's happening at 4 o'clock. Oh, there it is.
That's our autograph session.
That's our autograph session.
We'll all be in
coming up
that
right now. And do we have a slide for the one? 4 o'clock, there's a Disney Publishing booth on the floor that I'll be signing books.
What's that?
1129 if you guys want to get a thing signed there. So anyway, that's the panel, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, everyone.